Smooth versus rough qualities. That is what we're chatting about today. Welcome. My name is Nina Sachs. I am a yoga teacher trainer here at the Academy of Yoga and Ayurveda. We have a whole host of yoga teacher training options. So head down into the descriptions to check all of those out. Otherwise, let's delve into the world of slimy or smooth versus rough today, and how this could possibly even impact your yoga practice, your training, and all things to do with health. So let's start off with this concept of smooth or slimy. Now, smooth and slimy is really going to help to balance the Vata in us. And so, in other words, it's going to decrease the Vata and it's going to increase the Pitta and the Kapha, where the opposite is true when it comes to this quality of rough. And that is going to help to decrease Pitta and Kapha, and it's going to increase Vata. So knowing that these qualities are going to do something for you, you already know like what your constitution is and what you're probably going to have to gear further towards. So for example, if you know that you are high in Vata, then you know that you probably need Vata pacifying qualities to keep you in balance. And that means to keep you nurtured and nourished, you probably need to have like more of the smooth qualities within you and not too much of the drying, because the drying is what's going to aggravate the Vata. And the same is like, yes, let's use Kapha, for example. You know that if you've got a high level of Kapha in you, or maybe you've got a big imbalance in Kapha, is that you need to stay away from stuff that is smooth and slimy. In other words, like all those oils, like the avocado oils, and anything that is really, really like smooth. And you actually want to have more things that are a bit more drying or stringent to help kind of like dry things out in your system instead of making them so oily and sticky. You need a little bit more drying, and that's kind of like where your beans and your raw food, that is great. So, and this is where the diet side note, like become a little bit of a problem, because everyone's saying like, raw food diet is great. That's going to be helpful for you. Yes. And possibly even no, because if you have high Vata or high Vata imbalance, raw foods are very, very drying. They're very, very aggravating to Vata. And so you probably might already be like, have that little bit of like, oh, I don't want a cold salad. I know Jennifer's very much like that. She's like, I don't want a cold salad. I know Sham's a lot like that as well. And for them, it's like just so much nicer and inviting to have like a warm, soupy stew meal that is a bit more like unctuous and oily, a bit more like slimy in there. And that is very much soothing to the system. And that also helps to kind of like prevent osteoporosis and arthritis kicking in. Because if you think of those qualities of osteoporosis and arthritis, it is like a very much like a drying quality. It's like the bones and the ligaments and like everything is drying out. So you want to like nourish and nurture and bring more sliminess in there so that you've got more flexibility and movement. All right, so that is kind of like the idea of like smooth versus rough. Now, I was struggling because I was like, well, how does this translate into my yoga practice? Because yes, smooth is all about like flexibility and, allowing the body to move more easily. So realizing like, if I'm feeling very stuck and not very flexible, I probably need to have a look at my diet and include more oils, maybe even like more oil massage to allow things to penetrate through my skin. And then I was also thinking, but I go to different yoga teachers and teachers have different voices. And I was like, well, some teachers are like, they've got these like smooth, very soft voices, and it's very kind of like nurturing. And for someone who's high in Vata, where there's lots of stuff happening, it can be very, very nurturing to have like someone with that very smooth, soft voice, bringing them back into balance. Whereas maybe someone who's got a Kapha imbalance or who's got so much Kapha in them, they need someone who's got like a little bit more of a rough voice to who gets them up and going and motivated, and like that there is a little bit more energy and enthusiasm behind them trying to get a rough voice going, and that might just kind of like be what they're needing. So I actually thought like the tone and the way we teach and how we teach and can actually impact us if like there needs to be like a little bit more smoothness. Like if you're going into relaxation, that's where you want like a smooth voice. But maybe when you kind of like want a student to get to going into something specific, like we're doing warrior 1 moving to warrior 2 moving to warrior 3, it's kind of like got more of this jagged tone to it. And that's where you'd want to use it. So you can use your tone in your yoga class to figure out, do you want there to be like smoothness right now? Or do you want there to be a bit of like roughness, a little bit of tension right now, a little bit of drying out happening? And so again, neither quality is better or worse. It's just, what are you needing or what are your students needing at that point in time? And realizing that there are different ways that you can use it. So I hope this has been helpful. Please do give it a thumbs up if you learned something new, and if you're going to be practicing using your tone or your voice a little. And if you are interested in doing some further training with us, with Jennifer Pramella or myself, have a look in the descriptions below. We have a 200 to 300 hour teacher training, 100-hour upgrade if you're already a teacher and you want to just do a little bit more work with us in integral hatha yoga. And we have a fantastic 40-hour training in Ayurveda. All right, I look forward to seeing you on the mat. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.